All right, the Volume 8 tour. How's it going so far?
Well, this is just a little run that we're doing. We'll call it the Anthrax holiday shows.
All right.
That's pretty ridiculous, actually. But no, we just wanted to do like 8 shows or so to finalize the year, picking major cities, with the exception of Springfield, Virginia, of course.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Chicago, New York, Detroit, Cleveland, New York, Boston. So just doing some shows, playing. We know that for us to sell a lot of records, do it the old way that Anthrax has always done it, and that is tour, tour, tour.
So what's up with the label now? I heard basically they're having distribution problems in the U.S. and now like everything's getting jumbled up.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mess right now for them. We just saw a couple of guys last night in New York, and what's happening is that Ignition Records is leaving Tommy Boy, because apparently Tommy Boy is having some troubles. So they're trying to finalize a new distribution deal, which I hope they do very soon, like yesterday. And we just gotta hope that once they get a new distribution deal, that maybe we'll almost have like a re-release kind of vibe with the record, because we got caught up in this after a couple months of the record being out, and that's about as bad as it could get. So as bad as it was with Electro at the end, this is probably worse. But we're trying not to complain about it and whine, because there's no point in doing that. We talked to them last night. We had a pretty heart-to-heart, down-to-earth, real kind of no-frills conversation about everything, and it seemed to be good.
So as of now, you're still on Ignition?
Yeah.
So there's no plans of switching?
Well, unless they don't get a new distribution deal, at that point there'd be a breach of contract, and then we'd be out of the deal, and probably some other legalities that will just be a pain in our butt. So
just like the Electro deal, right?
Well, this would be different. This would be a breach. This would be them not being able to fulfill whatever they have in the contract. So, but again, in the end of it, it'll just hurt us, and we don't want that. We don't need that. We love our record, and we just want our record to be bought and have people have the availability for it.
So how's radio play on this record compared, like around New York and Northeast? I have, like when I live in Boston, they're cranking it out all the time. Inside Out's played.
Yeah, Inside Out did great. I mean, it's the only single that we've released so far. So, it's the only thing that we've done, really. We're talking about releasing another track. I hope it's the song Catharsis. I think it's a great song.
Yep.
We'll see. We do need a new single, and the talk again is in January when everything gets straightened away with their distribution circumstances. So. Yeah, I mean, radio has actually been very, very warm to Anthrax on this record so far.
Cool. And for the video Inside Out, I know how the concept was done, but who chose the concept?
Oh, it was the director, the guy by the name of Marco Siega. He actually directed both Fueled and Nothing from the Stomp record. And he's just a real imaginative young director, and we sent him the song, and he wrote the treatment for it, and we loved the idea, and then so we went through with it, and it's an amazing video. Again, videos are funny because I usually hate them. Just the whole concept of the video to me is weird, but he did a great job, and I think it's an awesome video, real entertaining, different, creative. Again, it should be seen by many. Unfortunately, I don't think MTV is really, their programming is all based on Top 40, really. And
not even Top 40, but like talk shows, cartoon shows.
Well, yeah.
When did they play
the videos that they do play is based around Top 40.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
In between the Road Rules and the
Real World and the puppet show they do and all this junk.
All this, I can't even watch it. I like VH1 better. And
they have better documentaries and stuff.
Well, they do. They have the cool Metallica video that Scott and I ran. But at least they show videos. Like in Europe, MTV in Europe, I mean, it's pretty silly as well, but at least it's all videos, whereas here, it's whatever, it's pathetic. I don't even want to go into it.
So what was your favorite video from Sound of White Noise?
Sound of White Noise? Well, in retrospect, I think Black Lodge is actually a really creative video. I just don't think people got it. It probably went over people's heads, and it really didn't showcase the band that well. But I think that, in all honesty, I think that it was a really different video. Mark Pellington, he's a real creative guy. Spent too much money, by all means. And the girl in that video is Jenna Elfman, who's in that show Greg and Dharma. That's the girl. I didn't even know that.
I never even heard of it.
You never heard of the show Greg and Dharma? It's a TV show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and she's the main star. And I didn't even know that. Somebody goes, that's the girl who's in the Black Lodge video. I was like, wow, it is, huh?
The young one or the older one?
The younger girl, the blonde.
Yeah, the one getting kidnapped.
Yeah. So, Yeah, it was cool. I mean, Room for One More was cool too. I like that video a lot because it was just us rocking out, and it was made cheaply. And
Effective.
yeah, that's the way we should do it. I mean, we're, you know, we like those are two extremes. Room for One More is us playing and cheap, and then you know, Black Lodge is very expensive and conceptual. And I mean, you know, I think we did two different things well, but I'm still not the biggest fan of videos.
Now, what do you think about the way you guys always do a good amount of covers, like B-sides for every album, and the ones that you chose for Volume 8, the Bends, what was the other? Yeah,
DRI.
Yeah, Snap, I'd Rather Be Sleeping.
Phantom Lord.
Who picks them?
Just depends. You know, everybody kind of talks about something they like to jam on. It's mainly it just comes out of just jamming. You know, we just start fooling around with something and say, all right, let's cover that. So I mean, maybe there was a moment where we said, hey, let's, you know, like the DRI song, let's do that. It'll be cool. And, Charlie's just a gigantic Radiohead fan, as we all pretty much are, but mostly him. He just, I want to do the Bends. All right, let's do it. You know, pretty simple.
Nice. And there was another, Give the Horns, the B-side.
Yeah.
Why wasn't that included on the American version of?
Well, without sounding greedy, and we only get publishing money on 11 tracks. We actually gave away 2 tracks anyway, which would be 604, I guess, and the copy song was just a cup of joe because they're only 40 seconds long, but we just didn't want to give a song away for free, you know. We don't want to do that. So we had to have one of the songs not make the record, and we knew it'd be a B-side and something. And I don't know, it was weird because that was one of the first songs we wrote, and we always really liked the song, but
it's a heavy tune.
For whatever reason, we just kind of felt like that was a song to not put on. But I think it's a great song. It reminds me of Faith No More.
Yeah.
That song. How does that feel?
Good vibe at the beginning too. Just
real kind of.
Would you ever play it live?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Have you played it live yet?
No, not yet. I mean, we played it live in the studio, obviously, in rehearsal.
Yeah. I just mean in front of.
Well, actually, we played it live before we made the record, and then we played that song in a show, a Concrete Foundation's Forum show, like 2 years ago.
Cool. And basically, like, the tour, when you opened up for Pantera, was Volume 8 written at that time?
Half of it. Well, it was mostly all written, but it was, and we were about halfway through the recording. We'd done all the basics. We didn't do any vocals at that point yet, which was kind of good because it gave us an opportunity to, you know, listen to everything we had done, take a break from it, and scrutinize it. We actually went in and we did a couple songs after that. Pardon me. I think Harm's Way. Charlie got a new drum kit, and he wanted to do a couple different songs over. So about half of it was recorded. Cool. But yeah, it was pretty much all written. But I mean, we constantly made changes up until the point where we finished the song and started mixing it. So.
Now let's get to the set list for like this Volume 8 tour. How was it chosen? Like, how did you go through and just be like, I want this, you know?
Certain songs were just obvious ones. You mean from this record? You know, I mean, we want to open with Crush, and we just know that. We weren't playing Catharsis, but we've kind of added it to the set because we do collectively want that to be the next single. Cool. You know, Inside Out's an obvious given one because it's the single. You know, well, we played Big Fat for a while, and then we replaced that with Catharsis. We played Born Again Idiot a few times too. We haven't played that lately, but I never played Killing Box and Alpha Male. And
what about Potter's Field? Will you ever do that?
Potter's Field. Well, old songs. I mean, we played Potter's Field a bunch of times. Obviously, we opened with it on the White Noise tour. Yeah. Maybe. You know, it's just a weird song because it kind of doesn't fit in like a set. It's like it's almost only great if it's an opening song. Yeah. Like maybe it'd be a good, like an encore song, maybe like the beginning of an encore. But I don't know. You never know. Like we brought Madhouse back into the set now, and we played Random Acts, which we haven't played for a while. And
will you play that tonight? Right?
Yeah. And Black Lodge, which we stopped playing at one point in White Noise. So, you know, I mean, certain songs will come and then they'll go, and we'll bring them back because, you know,
refresh.
Yeah, exactly.
So why is there always like every time I see you, there's a short selection from Stomp? Why is that?
Well, we play 2 now. We play Fuel and Random Acts, so we added one more.
Do you still feel?
I don't know, maybe because it's probably the least selling record. I don't know, maybe we felt
that's great. I don't understand why. It's heavy. It's top.
Yeah, and it's a great album.
We all think it.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, man. If I could figure any of this stuff out, I would be probably a CEO at Warner Brothers. I'm just a lowly musician.
Right on. Now let's get to some Ahmed Saint. Like, so there is no reunion CD gonna happen.
I mean, I don't like to think about in terms of reunion. I mean, you know, I love Joey. I miss playing with him, and sometimes we talk about wanting to do something, and we actually have written a few songs. But I mean, we haven't really sat down and said, okay, let's do that. I mean, Scott and Charlie are doing an SOD record, and maybe at that time it'd be a cool thing to do, like, you know, everybody kind of do a little side project. That's all it would be, really. I mean, it's not something we're gonna like reform this band and go back out and
tour.
And you know, it could be a side project idea. So we'll see. I mean, you know, have written some songs together, and they are really good. So we'll see. You know, I don't know yet, but I mean, I know that there's already talk on the internet and all this, and I was like, whoa, who's saying all this?
A friend of mine told me you guys were making a new album. I was like, what?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who said that.
It's on.
Exactly.
He said he read it.
It wasn't me.
Even Dustin from Concrete told me, he's like, yeah, it's gonna happen and all this stuff. I'm like, what? You know,
Yeah.
so.
Well, we'll see. You know.
Do you have any questions about
I like being very big about
Well,
it.
I have one question. In the Volume 8 album, there's a little picture of you dressed like King Diamond. Tell me how that happened. What was behind that? How did that?
We were just in the studio one night it was like the end of a writing or a demo, because we made demos, and you know, like we make 4 or 5 demos at a time, songs. I mean, I think what happened is that we were finishing mixing. We were going to take a break for like a couple weeks, and we were all just drunk and just goofing around, having fun. And somebody, I think Charlie, burnt the tip of a cork from a wine bottle, and it was all black, and he just like painted something on me, and everyone started laughing, so then he just started painting all this stuff. He just took a picture of it. I don't think I was attempting to look like King Diamond. It was just just be goofy, so as usual.
Can you keep in touch with Jeff Duncan and Phil and Gonzo and all those guys?
I talk mostly to Joey, obviously. Him and I are the closest. I've known him since I was 9 years old, and Gonzo for that matter. So I talk to them two the most.
You were all in school together, right?
Elementary school, yeah. Phil actually lives in the Bay Area now. I haven't seen him in a while. And Jeff has a new band, and I was supposed to go see him, and I didn't, and I feel kind of somewhat guilty about that. But, you know, we talk occasionally. No. No way. Yeah, he's singing. He's doing the lead vocals and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
He was when I met him at the Button, he hung out with us for at least 4 hours, you know, all day. Because I had the old album, you know.
Yeah, he's a great person.
Very nice.
He's a really good guy.
Hey, what do you think was the most, like, you know, like, not really successful, but biggest tour that you did since you joined the band? You know, from Sound of White Noise to now, you know?
Well, the first tour that we did with White Zombie was really big. At that time, White Zombie was doing incredibly well, as good as we were. So I mean, they were kind of keeping that tour going. You know, but then opening for Pantera was really, really successful as well. I think we did.
Big tour too.
Yeah, I think we kicked ass every night. And
yeah.
Probably made them work a little harder, which they would probably agree with, and that made everybody just that much better, you know, and gave the fans that much of a better show. So
since mostly like Dimebag's on, like, you know, Stomp, was he on Volume 8 at all?
Yeah, he played the 2 leads as well.
And did they ask you guys to do anything on, like, you know, their next album?
No. I don't know. They haven't asked anybody yet to do anything.
Really?
They're getting ready to do the Sabbath tour now,
right.
But I don't know if they even started recording yet. But they better ask one of us, right?
I hope.
They should.
Yeah.
Hey, it's only fair.
That's right. I don't know.
So what about Ozfest this past year? Did you guys get screwed out of it, or what was the deal?
No, I wouldn't say we got screwed out of it. I mean, we didn't have a record out. We didn't have a current album, and you know, maybe they just felt like we weren't as much of a commodity as some of the other bands that did have a record out. Yeah, we'd love to play it. I mean, we'd be honored. So, I mean, hopefully maybe on the next one.
Cool. And what about, like, all right, big question, Metallica. What do you think of their, you know, new, like, image compared to the old?
Their image?
Yeah, not image, the music, just the music, yeah.
Well, you know, I mean, my whole attitude with Metallica is they should do what they want to do. You know, if that's what they feel in their soul, that that's the kind of music that they want to make, then that's what they should do. You know what I mean? You can't,
But
you can't ever, people want to hear Master of Puppets every year, but then if they heard that, then they'd be bored of that. You know, that's the funny thing. You know, AC/DC, who I love, and you gave me a shirt, and it's incredible, but, you know, probably the one big problem I have with AC/DC now is that all the records sound the same, and they're just not as good. So, I mean, you do need to grow, and you need to change, you need to develop. which I think Anthrax has done
I think
very much.
White Noise, period. When you joined, it seemed like a whole different band and more mature and more
dedicated
focused and
yeah.
more memorable songs. Like the songs of White Noise, to me, will outlive anything before that. You know what I mean? It's going to be,
That's cool. Appreciate that.
and even Stomp and Volume 8 as well. You know?
Right.
It just seems like a much better band.
I just think that people have to. They have to, I mean, they'll either accept it or not. Metallica's a funny thing because so many people bag on it, but yet they still sell tons of records. So obviously someone's buying those records. All the people that say I don't like it, go out and buy it.
Sure.
Garage Day sold, almost 500,000 his first week.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody's buying it.
Every show sold out every night.
I know, it's like, what are you going to say? I mean, how could you say anything bad about a band that does that well?
Yeah.
So I can't really do it. I mean, sure, I mean, I grew up with those guys, musically at least.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course I'm going to be more partial to Master and Kill 'Em All and Ride the Lightning.
After Kill 'Em All, they asked you to join, right? To be
It was actually prior to Kill 'Em All, really.
Prior to
Yeah,
Kill 'Em All?
it was prior.
And you refused because of Armored Saint, right?
Well, at the time, Metallica was just, Armored Saint wasn't any smaller than Metallica, really. I mean, Metallica had this big following in Europe and everything, but Armored Saint was getting big, and so I was like, well, am I going to join this band? I don't even know anything about this band. I want to be in my own band.
Sure.
So.
What do you do in your spare time? Just like at home, chill out? What do you do?
Just read a lot and...
Especially now that there's no basketball, right?
I know, it's a bummer. Well, I don't care. I know they're a bunch of greedy fucks, so I can't say that on the radio.
Well, that's it. Whatever.
But no, I love to read and I love to, watch movies. And, go to dinner and just hang out with friends and go to, bars.
What kind of music you into now?
It just depends on the mood I'm in, really. If I'm in an angry mood, I'll listen to something heavy, and if I want to mellow, I might listen to some classical music and whatever, jazz. I like a lot of old R&B. There's some cool new groups, bands like Rammstein is cool, whatever. It just depends on what kind of mood I'm in, really.
And will there be any South Florida dates, like, coming up, like, in February?
Yeah, I mean, we have this one area we really haven't hit it, most of the South. We haven't hit mostly Texas, really played 2 shows there. We haven't hit any of the West Coast with the exception of LA, so still a ton of touring we have left to do. And we're hoping that we're going to do this. The talk is right now to do this tour with the ECW. I don't know if you caught one of,
right?
Well, there's a possibility of that, yeah. And, a few other bands, because we're all on this record, and we're talking about bringing a couple wrestlers out, setting up a ring and having them wrestle in between the sets. And, it's I'm not big on wrestling, but the people are really into it, and I think it'd be a cool association, and the tour would probably be pretty high profile, and that's kind of what I think Anthrax needs right now. So.
True. Man, the music is so, heavy now. It got heavier, I think, and people, it's what they're looking for, man. It just needs to be widely exposed so people can hear it back. Wow, what was that? Anthrax.
Well, I always believe that. It's just a matter of the guys from the record label asked me yesterday, what do you think? And I think, well, you just need to, have the exposure.
Yeah.
You need to have the opportunity to see Anthrax. If you come see Anthrax, you'll love Anthrax live. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to have a chance to do that. What we try to do on this particular run is have really cheap ticket prices. They're like $10, $12, most of them. Which, if you don't pay that to see Anthrax, then obviously you won't go see Anthrax.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what it does is encourages some younger kids to come, and people who are maybe like on the fence, well, I know Anthrax, I've seen my older brother maybe had a record or this and that. So those people, I think, are more inclined to say, all right, I'll go check it out because the ticket price is low. Our T-shirt prices are really cheap right now.
How much are they now for T-shirts?
So that shirt is selling for $15 now, but
Really?
Yeah, we have one selling for 10, and we also have some selling for 5. So we're trying to do everything kind of in this real old school kind of mentality, and do it the way trying to get Anthrax going back the way Anthrax got big in the first place, and kind of doing it at the street level. And if we do that, and we just keep working hard and touring, we'll be all right.
How do you feel about age limits on clubs like 21 plus, 18?
No, that's horrible for us.
Yeah.
We want younger people to come. The bottom line is we want anyone to come. And if you're an Anthrax fan, which a lot of people have the tendency to maybe be a little older because the band's been around a while.
Yep.
But and of course we want those people to come, especially hardcore fans. But the fact that remains is that we do need younger, newer fans coming because they will continue the band.
And one person hears it, they tell another kid.
Right. So if they're that's the one problem we have in the Boston show. Is the only show to my knowledge. I don't know about tonight. please, I don't want to
It's
hear.
18 plus tonight.
It is 18 plus.
Yeah.
Are you sure about
I
that?
talked to the door.
It is.
Found the door, too.
It is. All right. Well, that's a bummer because the Boston was 18 and over too, and it
Mama
kind of
Kin-
affected.
It's funny. Mamakin's usually 21 plus, and nobody goes there. It's like,
Yeah.
it's so.
It's not happening.
No.
We told it. I mean, sorry, Steven and Joe, but I mean, it was a cool place. It just wasn't right for us.
Even the people there, man, they're rude all the time. When I went there when I was a kid, well, 2 years ago, whatever, when I was in high school. Rude people, man. We tried to get into Slash and all these other shows. They're like, no, and security guards threw us out.
Yeah.
Just mean, So
Yeah, we usually don't play that. I mean, we play Avalon, or I'd even rather play Axis. Or,
It was scheduled for the Axis, I
Yeah,
heard.
no, there's another band came in or something. I don't know what the deal was, but yeah, I mean, we hate age limits, 18 and over. I'm sure everyone's when I tell everybody that they're all gonna go.
Yeah, we told Scott, he's like,
Yeah. That's a bummer. But at least it's not 20. 21 and over.
even
is
I wouldn't have been
forbidden.
able to get in,
Yeah, well, there you go.
So, and like I was thinking that, I'm like, man, we're driving. I'm like, if it's 21 plus, I'm like,
Nah, we'd have find a way to get.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm like, we're going.
You came from all your distance.
Yeah, because it's worth it.
Well, good. We'll put on a great show. Tonight's the final show. I'm sure it'll be pretty. It's gonna be a little. Everyone's a little bit wrecked because
From last night.
Yeah, but by showtime we'll be all right.
Yeah, every time I went to see, I saw you guys twice before, Stompin', well, actually Stompin', and always opening. I'm like, I gotta see, a headline and show,
Oh, okay.
because
You
I want
haven't
to.
seen one yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, good.
I'm like, I gotta see it for a while, because I want more,
Yeah.
Even at the Pantera show, I'm like, come on.
Yeah. Well, we'll play a good set tonight.
Is it an hour and a half about?
Yeah, it's about that.
Cool. All right, man. Can you just do an ID for this?
Sure. What is it?
WVUM.
WVUM. What's up, everybody? This is John Bush from Anthrax, and you're listening to WVUM, so turn it up.